Hello students, today we are going to see the numericals of alternating current, and in the first class we are going to see the questions which has been asked from the year 2011 to 2015. Okay, so in that way we will cover till 2019, that means the last 9 years of your ISC exam. So in today's video we are going to see from 2011 the questions which they have asked in that year. So in 2011, this is ISC 2011. The question will appear on your screen right now. You can pause the video and you can read the question. The same will be uploaded also. In question number 1, the current of 4 ampere flows in a coil when it is connected to 12 volt DC source. A current of 4 ampere. So suppose if I consider a coil over here, and if this is my DC source, and this says 12 volt, and the current is 4 ampere. Now remember, inductor does not offer any reactance to a DC. Focus on the word which I am using. Inductor does not offer any reactance when connected to a DC supply. So whatever resistance it will be offering, that will be the resistance because of its own length and cross-sectional area. Because we know that resistance is equal to rho L by A. So any conductor having a certain length, having a certain area will definitely offer its resistance. So we call this as the internal resistance of the coil. Okay. So over here, if I use this 4 ampere and 12 volt concept, then I will get the current. If I use the formula of V is equal to IR, then I will get the value of R as V by I, and that is equal to V is 12 volt and I is 4 ampere, and that gives you a resistance of 3 ohm. Okay, that means this coil has its internal resistance of 3 ohm. Now the question continues. When the same coil is connected to an AC source of 12 volt 8 hertz, when the same coil, so when it is connected to a AC source, now this is your AC source. So while drawing the AC source, with the AC source when you are drawing, just draw a resistance near to the coil, and now this resistance signifies the internal resistance of the coil. And how much we have found? We have found this to be 3 ohm. And a current is flowing here, and that current is given to you as 2.4 ampere, and this has a 12 volt and has a frequency of 8 hertz. How will you identify whether frequency is given or angular frequency is given? When frequency is given, it will have a unit of hertz. When angular frequency is given, it will have a unit of radian per second. Okay. Now you have to calculate the self-inductance of the coil. That is, you have to find the value of L. Now this is nothing but a LR circuit. And so in LR circuit, what is the value of impedance? The value of impedance is root over of XL square plus R square. And since it has 12 volt and current is 2.4 ampere, so I can write that value of V is equal to I times of Z, and that is equal to, Z will be equal to V by I, and V is 12 volt divided by I is 2.4. So from here what will you get? You will get the value of Z. Okay. Once you have got the value of Z, how are you going to find the value of XL? So you put this value of Z over here, and then you find the value of XL. So XL will be equal to, or XL square will be equal to Z square minus R square, or XL will be equal to root over of Z square minus R square. And Z is equal to root over of 12 by 2.4 the whole square minus R we have found as 3 square. And then I am leaving this on you to find, and don't forget to put the final unit. Final unit will be, XL will be equal to omega. Okay. Once you have found the value of XL from there, what is XL? XL is equal to omega times of L. That is equal to 2 pi F multiplied by L. So what is L? L will be equal to XL divided by 2 pi F. So XL you will find from here. Put that value of XL over here. 2 and pi, you know the value. Frequency is given as 8 hertz, and that will give you the value of L. And don't forget to put the unit. Unit is Henry. Okay, this is question number 1, ISC 2011. Please take a note. I sincerely request you to complete the calculations. You are in ISC, you have the liberty of using calculators, so use it. Moving ahead, ISC 2012. A 50 microfarad capacitor. So you have a capacitor whose value is 50 microfarad. So 50 into 10 power minus 6 farad. A 300 ohm resistance. A 300 ohm resistance. So resistance is equal to 300 ohm. And a inductor of 0.7 Henry. Inductor of 0.7 Henry. So you have an inductor of 0.7 Henry. Are connected in series to an AC supply which generates an EMF E equals to 300 sin 200 T. So it is connected to a AC supply which generates an EMF of 300 sin 200 T. Calculate the peak value of the current following through the circuit. So you have to find the peak value of current. Now remember, whenever you have to find the value of peak, the formula is the V equals to IR formula. Remember the formula V equals to IR. So what is I? I will be equal to V by R. So here when we use V, we use the peak value because you are finding peak here. So this has to be peak. And R we don't write R because it's AC circuit, so we write this as Z. That means if I get the value of Z, my peak value is given to you. This is my peak value. This is my peak value. That is 300 volt. Okay. So this will be equal to 300 divided by Z. So how do I have to find the value of Z? So Z will be equal. Now it's a LCR circuit. The formula for Z is XL minus XC, the whole square plus R square. This is the formula for Z. And now you have to find the value of XL. XL is omega L. What is omega? Now remember this term. Generally the equation looks like as sine omega t, correct? E naught, E equals to E naught sine omega t. So this coefficient of time in the phase is your omega. So omega is 200 multiplied by L. L is how much? 0.7. Use your calculator to get this value. So since I am finding XL, so it has a unit of ohm. Similarly, you find the value of XC. XC is 1 by omega C. That is equal to 1 by 200 into 50 into 10 power minus 6. And this is also ohm. And R is already known to you, that is equal to 300 ohm. Use these values over here and over here, and then you calculate Z. Where will you put this Z? You are going to put this Z over here. So when you take this value of Z over here, and then you get the value of current, and that current is your final answer. Okay, that's ISC 2012. Pause the video and take a note of this. Moving ahead, question number 3, and that is of the year 2013. In 2013, the question appeared as in the form of a diagram, and so these three are in series, the R, the C and the L. So this is in series connection, and it says that the frequency of alternating EMF is 50 Hz, and there is a L over here, there is a C over here, and there is a R over here which is given as 100 ohm. Also, two voltmeters are connected. Voltmeter which reads V1 and then another voltmeter which reads V2. And the question says that V1 is equal to 80 volt and V2 is equal to 60 volts. These two data has been given to you. Now the question is, question is what is the value of L and C? The value of L and C. What is the value of L and C? We will use this data over here first. What is this data all about? This data says that V1, which is equal to 80 volt, must be equal to I times of R, and that is equal to I times of 100. So what is your I? I will be equal to 80 by 100. So I know the value of current. That is 80 by 100. You can simplify this, and that will be equal to 4 by 5. That is equal to 1.25. Okay. Now the same current will flow through this also. The same current will flow because it's in series. So V2 must be equal to I times of XC. V2 is how much? V2 is given to you as 80 volt. Okay, V2 is given to be as V2 is 60 volt. So 60 volt equals to I times of XC, and XC will be equal to 60 divided by I, and that is equal to 60 divided by 4 by 5, and that is equal to 60 into 5 divided by 4, and that is equal to, this will come as 15. So 15 into 5, and that is equal to 75 ohm. So I know the value of XC. How will you find the value of C? Now XC is equal to 1 by omega C. XC is equal to 1 by omega C, and you can use this to find the value of C, and that will be equal to omega times of XC. So C goes on this side, XC comes on this side. You put the value of omega. Omega is 2 pi f into XC, and that is equal to 2 pi f. F is 50 hertz into XC. XC is 75, and then you simplify this. And that will give you the value of capacitance. Okay. Now, after finding the value of C, in the year IC 2013, they asked you actually to write the relationship between the, at resonance, what is the relationship between the reactance. Okay, so the relationship between the reactance at resonance is XL is equal to XC. Okay, and what is the net total impedance? Also, you can find total impedance is equal to. So suppose at resonance, the relationship between the reactance. Remember, XL and XC are reactance. Okay, the relationship between the reactance is XL is equal to XC, and the net impedance will be equal to R, because XL and XC will get cancelled out. But I want to find something more. Let us say I was modifying it. Okay, let us say I want to know what is the value of L during the resonance. Okay, and if 50 Hz is the resonance frequency. So if 50 Hz is the resonance frequency, I can find from XL is equal to XC. So XL is equal to omega, L is equal to 1 by omega C. Remember, by this time I know the value of C. So L will be equal to 1 by omega square multiplied by C, and the unit will be Henry. Okay, so even you can find the inductance also, provided you know the value of resonance frequency, which is 50 Hz. Okay, but that you can find only after finding the value of C. So you can find the current in the circuit by using this data. That is the reason why the V1 was given to you, and when V2 was given to you, it has one intention, that you find the current from here first, then you go here, and then you find the value of XC, and once you know the value of XC, you can find the value of L. So all these were linked, and that's the reason why this 100 ohm was given to you. You have to understand the reason why the data is given to you, for what reason is given to you. Okay, so that you can get this idea. It's a very beautiful question of 2013. This question is very good. Now, please pause the video and take a note of this. And moving ahead, question number 4, another very beautiful question. In 2014. In 2014, the question which they asked. This is question number 4 of today's lecture. An alternating EMF of 110 volt is applied to a circuit containing a resistance of R equal to 80 ohm and an inductor of L in series. So it's a LR circuit. Okay. So you have a resistance and a inductor. And the EMF which is given to you has a value of 110 volt. Now always keep one thing in mind that whenever just the EMF is given to you, nothing is mentioned before that, just EMF is given to you, you have to consider that EMF as RMS value. Okay. If the examiner wish to give you the peak, it will mention to you peak. Okay, it will be mentioned to you as peak. If the examiner wish to give you the average, it will be mentioned to you as average. But if it is nothing mentioned, just says EMF 110 volt, then it has to be taken as RMS value. Okay, so 110 is the RMS value. So resistance R is given as 80 ohm and inductor L is given to you, nothing has been mentioned. And then it also says that the current is from, this is our RL circuit. That means overall it will be like a inductive, not pure inductive, but since L is there, so it will be inductive circuit. If you do remember, I have VR in this direction and VL in this direction, so the resultant will be in this direction. So if this is the current in the direction of VR, so the net EMF will be ahead of current by an amount of beta. Correct? And that is the whole idea of civil, CIVIL. That is in inductor, voltage is ahead of current. Okay, so that's the whole idea for the next statement. The current is found to lag behind the supply voltage by an angle of beta, given by 10 inverse of 3 by 4. So the current is found to lag behind the applied EMF. Okay. Find the inductive reactance. So what are the things you have to find? You have to find the inductive reactance. You have to find the impedance of the circuit. You have to find the current flowing in the circuit. If the inductor has a coefficient of self-inductance of 0.1 Henry, what is the frequency of the applied EMF? Okay, so if the value of L is given to you as 0.1 Henry, what is the frequency of the applied EMF? Okay, I don't know what exactly because there's some misprint over here. So let us take that the value of L is 0.1 Henry and then we will see the final answer. Okay, but the procedure will remain same, not a difference. How to start? See, once you get this, you get this. Once you get this, you get this. Once you get this, you get this. Right away, all are linked. So the first thing is to use this data very carefully. So if you have to use this data, tan beta will be is equal to 3 by 4. Now what is tan beta? Perpendicular by base. That is equal to VL by VR. This I can now write as XL by R. Correct? So if I can write, remember I can write this as V as I times of reactance and I times of R, then I gets cancelled out and hence you get XL by R. This was from the previous question. So tan beta equals to 3 by 4 is equal to XL divided by R. What is R? R is given to you as 80. So this implies XL will be equal to 3 into 80 divided by 4. And this becomes 20, 23 is 60. So you will get the value of XL as 60 ohm. Correct? So my first data is known, 60 ohm. How will you find Z? This is LR circuit, so the value of Z will be equal to XL square plus R square, and that is equal to root over of 60 square plus 80 square, and that is equal to, generally your 8 and 6 has a square root of 10, so this has to be your 100. Okay, so this will be your 100 ohm. I. How will you find the value of I? I will be equal to EMF by Z. So EMF divided by Z. And what is your EMF? EMF is 110 volt and Z you will get as 100 and that is equal to 11 by 10, that is equal to 1.1 ampere. Now is the last part. If L is 0.1 Henry, how much is the angular frequency? So if your L is equal to 0.1 Henry, I know that XL is equal to omega times of L and that is equal to 2 pi F times of L and that is equal to your XL. XL we have found as 60, so this will be your 60 divided by 2 pi L will be equal to your F. and hence we can find the value of frequency if your L is known to us. Okay, please pause the video and take a note of this. Question number 5, and the question will appear right now on the screen. In question number 5, you have three. This is 2015. I'm going to discuss now. So you have a capacitance of 25 microfarad, capacitance of 25 microfarad, inductor of L is equal to 4 by pi square Henry, and your R is equal to 100 ohm. This supplied voltage is 220 volt. The first question what they are asking is the resonance frequency of the given LCR circuit. How will you find the resonance frequency? XL is equal to XC, and that is equal to omega L is equal to 1 by omega C. If you continue this, I will get the frequency as 1 by 2 pi divided by 1 by LC. Okay, so how will you find the resonance frequency? Resonance frequency will be equal to 1 by 2 pi root over of 1 divided by L. L is 4 by pi square into C. C is 25 into 10 power minus 6. The data are so beautifully given that the things will get cancelled out. Pi square will come out and will get cancelled with this pi. Remember, this pi square is in the denominator of the denominator. Okay, so when this pi square will come out, basically this pi square will go at the top. If you wish, you can take this pi square at the top. When the pi square comes out of the square root, it will get cancelled with the pi. 25 into 4 is 100. 100 into 10 power minus 6 is 10 power minus 4. If you take the square root out, you will get the value as, so 1 pi will come out, and you will get here as 1 by 10 power minus 4, and that is equal to 1 by 2 into root over, it is 1 by 10 power minus 2. Okay. And that one is equal to, you can take this at the top, so it will become 100 divided by 2, and that is equal to 50 hertz. And that is the final frequency. Current flowing through the circuit. How will you find the current flowing through the circuit? This is the part 1, and the second part is current flowing through the circuit. Current flowing through the circuit I will be equal to EMF divided by Z. Since the question is dealing here with the resonance frequency, so we have to find the current also in terms of resonance frequency. So in resonance frequency, we know that the impedance value is right away equal to R only, and EMF, since it is given as 220 volt and R is given to you as 100, so the answer is 2.2 ampere, because we are dealing with resonance over here. Average power consumed by the circuit. Third part. What is the average formula? Average of this? IRMS ERMS into cos phi. Correct? Now, what happens of cos beta? What happens in resonance? In resonance, the value of cos beta is 0. The value of cos beta is 1. Correct? Because beta is 0. So in resonance, beta is equal to 0. This implies your cos beta is equal to 1. Or beta equal to 0 means there is no lag between the voltage and the current. And that happens in resonance circuit over here. So my average power will be IRMS. Since as I told you in the very beginning, in the previous question also I told you that if 220 volt is given to you, you have to take this as RMS. So when you are putting 220, what current you are finding is also RMS. Okay, so IRMS into ERMS. Remember, this is not peak voltage. The question nowhere says it is a peak voltage. If the question does not say anything as peak voltage, you have to take it as RMS value. So IRMS is 2.2 and ERMS is equal to 220. And that will be the final answer. And that is the 22 square is your final answer. And just square it, you will get the final answer. and don't forget to put the unit. The unit is watt. So I will discuss from ISC 2016 to ISC 2019 in my next lecture, and I request all of you, whoever is watching this video, please take a note and see the idea behind each question and you prepare accordingly also. Okay? There are many questions available in your textbook, though they are not past year questions, but still they are good questions. So practice those questions also. Thank you, and thank you for watching. See you in the next class with questions from 2016 to 2019.